Yeah, when I think about acting with integrity, I do think it goes beyond things like honesty and business ethics. And for me, there's three components. The first is openness, which I mean being clear about what to say and when to say it. One of the roles I had was as a public servant, and for 5 years head of the Prime Minister and Cabinet's department. And you had to talk, be willing to talk in a frank and fearless, robust way. Sometimes you had to say things to ministers, even prime ministers, that they would have preferred not to hear, but it was an important part of your leadership job that you did so. And sometimes when I've watched people in meetings, they are too silent, and their silence is taken as agreement. And it's only when you come from the meeting you find that they disagreed, sometimes quite fundamentally, but didn't put that view forward. So when I talk about openness, it is the willingness at the appropriate time to make it clear what your own views are. The second thing for me about integrity is having authenticity, to understand that as a leader you're a whole person. You don't just leave home and arrive to work and then you become a work leader, which is quite different from the rest of your life. And some of the best meetings I have been at was where people in a strategic discussion bring forward an authenticity from the rest of their life which can transform the conversation. I remember, again, going back to government, a high-level discussion about what we could do in the area of aged care, an extraordinarily complex issue with overlapping Commonwealth and state responsibilities and funding, really difficult. And it was a woman at the meeting who about halfway through said, "Look, can I just say, I got a mother who's starting to suffer from dementia, and I'm trying to deal with this, and do you realise just how difficult it is? And I've had to do A and B and C." And that intervention then freed up others to actually give their personal experience. It was not that we were then going to make decisions based upon anecdote, but we brought our whole selves to the discussion, a strategic discussion of what to do about aged care. And in my view, by bringing that emotional intelligence in, it actually transformed the discussion. And the third thing I think is important in terms of integrity is resilience. I tend to be someone as a leader who is quite passionate and committed, often takes decisions pretty fast. But what I have come to know is that if you want to deliver, you've got to stay with it. In my view, I can talk the talk pretty persuasively and fast, but I got to walk the walk quite slowly and with determination in order to pull it off. And that persistence, that resilience is important. I think the 19th century had a wonderful term for it, which was doggedness. There's a Thackeray quote, it says, "It's dogged as does it." And I have to say, I think that doggedness is a key part of what I see as integrity for leaders.